calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Well, the Bad Batch and the Mandalorian keep moving along, and Meesa thinks this is a good one. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Pretty good, Joe. Nice. I love it.
I just keep reaching for puns.
Yeah, I see that.
Reaching and grabbing.
Yeah, I will say it was a nice surprise. In the Mandalorian there, but yeah, it was good.
But we're gonna start it off with, I think, how we're traditionally doing it right now with the Bad Batch. We got season 2, episode 14, Tipping Point.
Right.
So
this episode was way different than I thought it was going to go down.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be like the tipping point with like Sid.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what I thought too. And no, apparently this is finally like
Crosshair's tipping point.
Yeah, Crosshair, that's his name. Yeah, finally it gets through to him that, hey, Empire is not good. It's like,
man, the Empire sucks, man.
Exactly. Finally, it's like, dude, you haven't noticed?
They got you doing all this terrible stuff,
right?
And you're like, this is the moment where you're like, man, this is not a good place to work,
right?
I mean, all I did was kill my commanding officer, and they're really treating me awful.
Yeah. Oh, but they aren't even upset about that.
No,
that's okay. It shows initiative. Wow. Yeah.
That shows initiative. What?
So this is how we climb the corporate ladder around here. Okay. Got it.
This doesn't sound very sustainable.
No, it's not. It can't be.
You know what really shows you're a go-getter in the Empire?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way the Sith operate, isn't it? So,
Yeah, but usually, like, you spend some time with them, you get everything out of them.
Right, yes.
Yeah, he knew this guy for like 2 hours.
Exactly. But that guy didn't like used equipment, so,
Right, and it's not like he was like the next rung on the ladder from this guy.
It's true.
Like he's just like, that's my logical next step for promotion.
Right.
So, I'm really kind of perplexed at why we should really dislike this what's his name? The scientist, Hemlock.
Right. Yes, Hemlock.
Like
poison.
Yeah, he develops. Yeah.
I know that came out in this episode, didn't it?
Yeah, he can develop a poison that he's immune to.
Right.
I guess he's developing stuff for the interrogation droids.
Yeah, it must be.
I mean, we're really having to piece this together for ourselves. Don't really know what makes this guy a bad dude. They keep alluding to these questionable experiments and things like that, but not really getting into any indication as to why. He's just looking for Omega.
Right. Well, we know why he's looking for Omega.
To convince, I don't want to say the wrong one. Is it Nalase?
Nalase, yes. I was going to say, it's not Lamasu.
I don't want to say the wrong one.
Right.
So to convince Nalase. But for what?
Right.
Like, I don't even know why we should be concerned about Omega. other than it's the Empire that's looking for her.
Right.
But we're supposed to be really nervous because it's this guy.
Well, the Empire's going to hold Omega over, now let's say, his head. Like,
Right.
work for us or else. The kid gets it. So, it's that all that's got to have to do with, cloning technology, I mean,
Right.
this is all going
Clone.
towards
The thing they're trying to get rid of.
well, the clone. Well, they want to produce one more clone. You know what I mean? That's
But they haven't even said that.
Well, I know, but I think it's implied. It's
Implied.
I think we all know where that's heading.
Yeah, just like the implied reasoning. Do you think this is something the Emperor would have confided in this guy? Like this is what he's looking for, is a clone for himself?
No, I'm sure that there's something, it's like, look, we need you to work on this in particular for this one project. And, what we're working on it for, you don't need to know that part, but just work on this project. I'm sure it's all compartmentalized. He doesn't know.
Right.
It's just doing his job.
Yeah, I feel like this episode, for as much as it seems to get back on track, story-wise, I just don't feel like we really know what on track is right now,
Yeah.
There's so many story threads and
Right.
things going on. We got two episodes left in this season, I might add.
Right.
And a lot of story threads that are very, very far from being tidied up.
Yeah, I got a feeling this clone thread is going to carry over. The whole Sid thing, I think we might be left with a cliffhanger or a conclusion, one or the other there. And, we'll see.
Well, I can't see. I mean, I guess the only conclusion I see there that's going to make logical sense is Sid's going to betray them somehow.
Right.
With a way to, I don't know if Sid would even have a way of like knowing where they're at.
Well,
but she has a direct line of communication with them, so they could probably get it from that.
Right. Exactly. It could be something exactly like that. Yeah. Here, make the call. They're going to be standing just out of holovid range, and you're
going to trace it like in the old cop shows.
Exactly. Trace the phone call.
Keep them talking.
Exactly. I love it. That'd be great. So I do wonder what's up with this doctor's hand. You brought it up, I think, last week before, whatever. He keeps rubbing his hand, his gloved hand. I got a feeling that there's some sort of residual effects from prior experiments that are affecting his hand.
Well, I mean, it would make sense.
Right.
No time.
No time
to talk about it.
Oh, right. Yeah. I just got a feeling it's going to be something that comes out later. If not, then it's like you're doing this thing, this really obvious thing that's just kind of like nothing, weird. One thing I do got to say about this doctor, though, he totally reminds me of Brain. The voice and the inflection and all that of Pinky and the Brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like big time.
Yeah, he definitely got a very, doing what we do every night.
Exactly. So, backing up, like in the episode, gotta say, nice to see Gregor. That was cool.
Yeah.
This small contingent of clones that Rex has put together. It's like we're going to see his group from Rebels come together, I think, and tidy that
Gregor's
up.
doing all right now.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. But you could still tell who it was, you know? It's like, it's got that, the voice breaking up thing going on a little bit. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah, all that did was make me wonder why is Gregor so messed up?
Right. Hey, give it time, you know? The effects.
Do him well. All that time fishing
Right.
in the sand. I guess if you're doing something as ludicrous as fishing in the sand,
Yeah.
you realize, wow, what am I doing with my life?
Right. So I have to say, when they rescued these clones, I thought, here we go again. Joe's gonna flip out, using stun blasts all the time here, you know. Till I get to the crosshair part where he's just like, he just shoots these guys. It's like, there we have it.
Yeah.
You know.
But once again, they're really discerning between the good guys and the bad guys.
Oh yeah.
And Crosshair's been questionable the whole time.
Right.
Crosshair did flip and stun this doctor.
True. But I mean, that's the only person there who's shown him any kind of like consideration. I'm not going to say sympathy or anything like that, but just like, if you just do what the doctor says, it won't go so hard on you. You know, it's like, it's still not going to be pleasant, but it won't be so bad, you know.
Oh, what did I know, going back to the beginning again. This ship that breaks off from their ship.
Right.
What did they call it? A
leech?
A leecher?
Something like that.
That was a pretty nifty little device.
Yeah.
You know, they attach on both sides of the ship.
Right. Little pod to go breach the hull of another vessel with. That's perfect.
Yeah. Pretty nifty. Had decent thrusters and stuff on it. I was like, wow.
Right.
Because they get away from these ties and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought that was pretty nifty.
It was pretty cool.
Make a pretty cool toy.
Right. Yeah, I got to say, it was. I'm still astounded by the you know. You go and rescue some fugitive clones. Where do you take them?
Coruscant.
Yeah.
Duh.
Exactly. Take them to the Imperial capital. Why not? Yeah. I understand it's a big place. You know, you could probably, you know, hide, but my God.
I gotta say, I kind of like this though.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they're like right in the thick of it. Problem is we're not really dealing with them a whole bunch, so
Right.
it's just like, oh look, they're like right on Coruscant, and we're back on Pabu.
Right. Yeah. Getting flying lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I gotta say, that part did make me smile a little bit, because if you've ever instructed a kid to drive a car, you get it. Because you're sitting in the passenger seat, it's like, okay, now do this, and oh my God, you know, it's we've been
Not that.
right, exactly, yeah. Pull up, okay, stop. Yeah, been there. Yes.
Yes, I've never had to do that. I've heard a lot of stories from people who have.
Right.
So
yes, I've done that
So
a
I
couple
get it.
times now. It was just funny. It made me smile. It was good.
yeah, it was good. Cool place to do it.
Right.
I don't know if instructing this kid on all these maneuvers and stuff over top of a city that just had a tsunami.
I know. It's like you got all this open ocean to fly over.
Right. Nah, screw that.
Right. And not only that, but when we land, we're going to try and land on some people. That's
Yeah, that wasn't much of a race, was it?
not really, no.
Like, I'll race you back, and then, like, they're kind of close, and then Echo lands, and we're waiting,
Exactly.
waiting. Huh. Kind of almost made you think Tech was like, nah, I'm taking the controls of my ship.
It almost does make you think that, yes.
But then you see it land, it's like, that's not Tech.
That's not Tech, yeah. Not trying to land on people. That's Omega.
So, yeah, and our jumping around, here we are.
It's okay.
Echo's back with the team.
Right. Yes. Getting some decryption done. Which, this is, how we find out that Crosshair is trying to warn the team.
Right.
Yet they don't know if they can trust it, which I like that part because it's like, okay, yes, this guy has pulled you into traps before, so it's not like you're just going to fall for it, right? You might have to go try and spring the trap to find out if it's legit or not. Okay, that I get, but, you're not going to just fall for it as though, oh, he's come to our side, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the definite, like, Obi-Wan answer, right? Could be a trap. Oh, what do we do? Spring the trap.
Right. Exactly.
Like, what? So, yeah, I mean, that's this episode kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, other than things like, Tarkin mentions a summit coming up, not sure what that's going to be all about.
Well, spoiler alert.
Yes, spoilers?
Episode 15 will be called The Summit.
Oh, excellent. I guess we're going to find out what the summit's all about. Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Right. True.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to get, like, it's just another one of those things, right? How do they get from Crosshair sent a distress call to the summit?
Well, it could be two storylines.
Well, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the theme.
Right. We know the doctor's supposed to be at the summit because he's supposed to brief Tarkin on his projects, which I think that's kind of like the way these operations are compartmentalized and responsibilities divvied out is through like people like Tarkin.
Right.
Stuff. It's like,
Oh, that's consistent with everything we've seen so far.
absolutely.
Tarkin had his hand in a lot more stuff than I thought he did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But I guess at this time he wouldn't quite be involved with the Death Star project yet, so
No.
he had to fill time somewhere.
He would be aware of it, though. He'd be aware of it going on, and knows that right now is not the time to go and take it over. Yeah.
No, there's too much work to do.
Exactly.
You got to snag it right about done.
Yep.
Got to make sure it's going to succeed before you go swooping in.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think we definitely got a reason why the Clone Force 99 is going to leave Pabu here.
Right.
Because they were really selling on staying. I mean, I would have stayed.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of that, right? I mean, even with Echo and, Hunter keeps looking at Wrecker playing with the kids and stuff, and it's like, it might be nice for everyone to stay, It's like, Could be foreshadowing for, like, next season. You know.
Yeah. But this is the one like logical one where it's like you're looking at it and going, yeah, I don't see the Empire needing this place for any reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's not a large population to utilize.
Right. The only reason would be if they needed water. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
And then there's always
there's some other
Camino. They can always go get water from Camino.
Right? And they already got rid of the pesky problems on Camino.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Seems like a good place to just lay low.
Right.
But then there'd be no story.
Exactly. Well, we'll see. I mean, I got a feeling that's not for this season. If that's going to happen at all, it'll be probably later on in the show. And I just, it might be the way it wraps up or something. I don't know. But, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, there hasn't been any talk of a season 3 at all, right?
That I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But, I mean, I think there has to be, just a wrap-up story at this point.
If they wrap it up, I just don't feel like this could be satisfying.
Right.
I said they've spent 14 episodes just building threads.
Yeah, exactly.
Not closing any of them.
Right. If there's been news, I don't remember anything being said or announced. I think just by what we're getting story-wise, though, there's got to be, And I'm kind of feeling like, they could probably wrap this story up into season 3 and not spend a bunch of time on little one-off missions here and there. Just tell the main story arc throughout and, get things wrapped up for the story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could wrap this up in another season.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't think there's any way you could wrap this up in 2 episodes.
No.
And if you do, I feel like it's gonna feel rushed and unfulfilling.
Right.
I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
You definitely wouldn't get any kind of happy ending.
Right.
In order to wrap this up in 2 episodes.
Yeah. Just before they're gonna jump to light speed, boom, ship blows up. Huh. They just blew up the Bad Batch. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go like that though.
No, unless the next episode is gonna be like the way the season's gone a lot, like it's just gonna be about the summit. You're not gonna see Clone Force 99.
Right.
That stuff is just gonna be about the summit, and the last episode, Plan 99, it's retirement. Screw it, we're not getting involved.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah,
we decided it ain't worth it.
Right. Yeah, I think we're just gonna stay here. Yeah.
It ends with Echo going back to Rex. We're on our own.
Yep. Huh.
Like, holy crap, they wrapped it up.
Yep. Yeah, I just so not where I thought they were gonna go, and so unsatisfying. Yes.
Yeah. Well, all right. I think we've about wrapped up the Bad Batch here. What do you think?
I think so too.
I mean, we'll be looking forward to next week and the finale. There's a lot to tell.
Right.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a mouthful. Hopefully I get all this in here.
Okay.
So we're talking about season 3, episode 4, chapter 20, The Foundling.
You did it.
I did it.
Yeah. The Foundling.
I wrote that down. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think back to school and stuff when you're like writing titles and stuff like that. They're like, oh, you got to shorten it.
Oh, yeah.
John Favreau. He's like, screw that.
Exactly.
Screw that. You can't even put this on a Blu-ray disc. It's too long.
Exactly. Not that they release this on Blu-ray anyway. but-
That's not where I was going. with
Okay.
it. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, this was a good one.
Yeah. It was a fun episode. I dug it.
It's a fun episode. I gotta say, I complain about this series a lot.
Yeah. Some might say too much, but yeah.
But we got a show called The Mandalorian, and we spent an entire episode with the Mandalorian talking about Mandalorians
almost an
with
entire episode.
with a bunch of other Mandalorians. I really like it.
Doing Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah. Well, even the scene where you get away from the Mandalorian and things, it was pertinent
Yeah.
because it's the history of his foundling.
Right.
So pertinent.
Yeah. I get it.
I mean, you could argue that the other stuff was pertinent too, but I feel like a lot of the other stuff went the direction it went to get other characters in.
Right. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I just, I think, all of that's going to come into play at some point in the show, So
Oh, I'm sure it will.
they had to be introduced somewhere, somehow, some way.
But I don't think you're going to see Luke Skywalker again.
No, probably not.
Don't think you're seeing Ahsoka again.
You don't overuse Luke Skywalker at this point. I mean, that's just smart, in my opinion.
I think they got to use him a little more. Not in this show.
Right.
Not in this show. But we definitely need a little more Luke Skywalker post Return of the Jedi.
Right. So I was gonna bring something up about the couple of the Mandalorians here. I meant to bring it up last episode, and I didn't. But I'm gonna bring it up early. Just so the Armorer and Paz Vizsla, their helmet designs are way different than all the others.
Yes.
It's like, it feels like there's got to be a reason for this. But, just trying to figure out, what that might be. And there might be no reason, but,
Well, yeah, because even Din's and Bo-Katan's kind of fall in line with everybody else's.
yes, the basic shape.
The basic shape.
Right.
I mean, I think it's probably something simple. The only reason is it's a rank thing. It's a who's brought the most to the table. Because
Okay.
you bring the Beskar, you bring the resources, and a piece of that goes to the foundlings.
Yes.
Like how we saw Mando's Din's. I can't say Mando's anymore. When we saw Din's at the start, and then what it's evolved into.
Right.
This is him bringing those resources in. Him being productive for the group is rewarding him with better and better stuff. And I think just the Armorer and Paz Vizsla have been doing this longer.
Okay.
And have brought more to the table. Therefore, their designs and functionality and all that stuff has improved more and more over time. So I would imagine that Din would end up getting to something like that. if he so chose.
I was gonna say it's just the design of the helmets that really gets me. I mean, the armor, we see the spikes on it like that. That's
I think it's just like the U.S. military, right? Where the higher your rank, the more you can customize your own uniform.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
But even then, I mean, it still looks the same.
It-
There's rules.
right. I don't know. It just struck me, again, and I thought, man, there's either got to be something to this, or it's just, we're setting these characters apart somehow. I don't know.
I mean, maybe thinking back to when Din took down the Mudhorn,
Yeah.
and he gets a signet for the Mudhorn. Like, is it stuff like that? Do they just have more of these types of achievements? And you can't do a signet for each one of them. Maybe you could do a piece of something that represents that.
Right. Well, like the spikes on the armorer's helmet, I was going to say, I have to believe that it is representative of when Maul was in charge.
Yeah, they are very similar, aren't they?
Yeah. So they are clearly like the senior members of this group. So
clearly, and I think that's mainly why they went so drastically different with the design, just so you just
right.
you differentiate that. I didn't pay close enough attention to all of this back when you had more senior members of this covert.
Right. It is just odd that, even someone who's been around as long as Bo-Katan, her helmet is like all the other female Mandalorian helmets, pretty much. So it's like, I guess that's just the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, Bo-Katan's armor is very traditional, though, right? Like,
Yeah, true.
it's very in line with everything we saw in the Clone Wars.
Yes, totally.
And then the only time you saw variations, and it could be just a compilation of these different variations based on different factions. Like maybe you never lose a portion of your past.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking of that actually as you were talking about, different things like the Mudhorn signet and all that. They might what's the word I'm looking for? Accrue different, accoutrements or whatever on their
Right.
armor and different things mean different things, I guess. But I don't know. I'm just like the armor, the shape of her helmet, like the visor portion is like just a completely different shape, the Paz Vizsla's has way different cuts in it, just I don't know, just something I took note of, maybe something we'll revisit later if it comes to be something, and probably not. So just bringing it up.
I mean, maybe for Mandalorians, like talking about the signet ring and then like the different factions they may have taken part in or been involved with throughout their history. Maybe it's like what is it, the Calicori for
Right. Twi'leks?
for Twi'leks, yeah. To where like you just keep adding to it. And like the Mandalorian armor, the individual's armor is kind of like a Calicori. It's just telling the story of their.
Yeah, exactly. That would make sense.
Because I mean, they were very, like in Sabine's story arc, they went into the, the significance of the armor, right?
Right.
And the family.
Yeah, that's true.
So it may not even be these individuals on their own. It may be their line. And since these foundlings don't have a line,
they get generic armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be.
I don't know, just spitballing.
Right.
Because I mean, definitely for as Vizsla. Vizsla has a very storied past.
Yeah, for sure. I got a feeling that's going to rear its ugly head again at some point. The Vizsla line.
You think so?
Yeah, I think we're all good for right now. But I think when it comes time to, somebody wants a Darksaber,
The Darksaber is the trump card and all this still.
Exactly.
Kind of crazy how that's just kind of.
Yep, we're just not talking about it right now.
It's just there.
Yep.
It's just there. This very important piece of Mandalorian culture is just chilling right there in the.
Exactly.
So, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It doesn't have to all be. It's because this title of the show is the Darksaber.
Right.
So. But all right.
Yeah. Back on track.
Now we can talk about the episode.
Yeah.
No, I like that though. That was a good point.
Just something that sticks out. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, it opens up. You see all this training going on,
Right.
which instantly I was like, "Well, this is kind of cool."
Yep. Cobra Kai in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, really, kind of, right?
Yep.
It kind of was. They're having the whole Karate Kid point system and everything.
Exactly.
That's universal, man.
Oh, totally.
Universal point system. But Din's like, nah, it's time for Grogu to stop playing in the sand and get involved here.
Right. I love this.
I mean, first off, did you think he was just sitting there moving stones around
For a second.
for a second?
Except he kept acting surprised about it. So it was like, maybe they're alive.
Yeah, like the first, like I'm watching, he's just sitting there playing with the Force with stones, and then it's like, wow, he's not even looking. He's looking back like, why'd that just move?
Right.
I'm like, wow, he can't control this thing.
That's what you're thinking at first. Yeah.
That was the next thought. And then he picked it up. It's like, oh, it's a crab.
Right.
But yeah, he's like, hey, stop playing with rocks.
Right. Yeah.
It's time for you to get involved. He's like, next challenger. I was like, what? Talk about getting tossed to the deep end. It's like, all right, kids, time for you to learn how to swim. Splash.
Exactly. But I like that. I mean, it's like you might have thought, okay, he's gonna set him up over here to like watch what's going on, but no. Let's do some of this. It's.
Yeah. Then my next thought is, he's gonna force choke a kid.
I thought he might have done a force push, something like that. But I think the way they handled this was pretty cool.
Oh, that was really cool. They get the paintball wrist rockets,
Right?
and Grogu goes all Yoda, where he can't walk but starts flipping around.
Right. I think it was I don't know. It was done well. I liked it. It was.
Oh, I thought it was done really well. Because that was enough for them to go, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. This
that
little guy's not just a novelty.
Yeah, the other foundling, he had never seen anything like that.
Right.
Just stunned him.
Yeah, and he thought he had all the answers about Grogu.
Well, I mean, we find out why later in the episode, right?
Well, yeah, totally.
And I just, it's Paz Vizsla's kid.
Right.
He's probably got a little bit of arrogance that goes along with that.
Yeah.
My dad's second in command, like.
Right, exactly.
And even his dad's over there like, what, if you don't know, you don't speak, or like.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It was something like that. It was a nice little, don't go thinking you know everything you think you know and you don't know. You know, that was good.
No, and it's a very martial arts way to go about it, right?
Yes.
You know, the warrior culture here is very similar to what you would see of these like kung fu masters, right?
Right.
You know, don't underestimate, you know, things like that. Makes sense.
Yep. Totally.
If you underestimate your opponent, you can never be ahead of your opponent.
It's true.
So,
But yeah, it was the whole scene was pretty good. I mean, the one thing I will say, these guys are shooting out into the water. It's like, I don't think you guys got like targets set up or anything. You're just kind of like blasting out into the water. I don't know what that's accomplishing, but okay, that's good.
yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, these are blaster rifles and stuff. It's like, okay, you could have some sort of target.
No one's
set
got a
up.
can.
Right. We'll have a target set up. That's what I'm getting at. These are blasters. You have a target set up that like absorbs the blaster bolt, right? Or something, you know, and gives you some sort of indication that you got to hit, you know, something to go along with blasters in Star Wars, you know, as opposed to, yeah, we're just shooting out in the water.
The limited resources.
I suppose.
I think that's meant to be the point.
Yeah.
But seriously, no one's got a can.
Exactly.
You know, when I was a kid, the BB gun, we practiced with a can.
Yeah. Of course.
Anyone could throw a BB into a tree.
Right. That's funny.
I guess with the water, you could be like, I'm going to get that wave. I meant that one over there.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Nailed it.
Yep, nailed it. You could really move the goalposts.
Yes, exactly.
But anyway, what was Paz Vizsla's kid's name here? Was it Ragnar?
Ragnar, yeah. For all those Vikings fans out there.
Yeah, which is funny because I just started watching Vikings Valhalla.
Aha, nice.
So I saw that and I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
But Ragnar in defeat didn't handle it well. He went sulking off.
I was going to say, use the same word. Yes. Yes.
The same word.
Sulking. He
Oh,
was
okay.
Sulking down by the water, like, little guy got me, you know.
Yeah. Got himself snatched up by, I think they called it a raptor.
Okay. I didn't catch what they called it, so.
I think they called it a raptor later in the episode.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense, raptor.
Right.
Would have thought it'd be a little more Star Wars-y name.
Yeah, like
But hey,
Ragnar.
Huh?
I said, yeah, like Ragnar. Sorry.
I mean, Ragnar ain't that bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
But
Star
it's
Wars?
definitely not like Paz or Din.
Right.
Or Bo. But yeah, gets himself snatched up. They can't shoot it because it'll kill him.
Right.
Wow.
This is what you get when you practice shooting in the water.
Draw a lot of attention.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have thought like, you know, like this has happened before. You think they would have some guidelines like, hey, don't go sulking by the water.
Yeah, something like that. That's the one thing that got me a little bit is like, yep, we run out of jetpack fuel every time. It's like, what do you mean this has happened before? Have some sort of contingency plan in place then. I mean, huh.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. There's definitely a whole lot of like, yeah, this happens all the time. Kind of vibes to that. I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
And the prior times, yep, when we go approaching Yeah, it kills the kid. It's like,
All right, well, if the kid's
whoa.
already dead, just kill the damn thing.
Right.
Don't be like, oh, we missed another one.
Yes, but it does lead us on a good Mando adventure. So
Yes. And this was good. Bo-Katan takes the lead.
right.
Bo-Katan has the presence of mind to go, I feel like I'm going to run out of fuel with my jetpack, so I'm going to grab the ship.
Exactly. Yeah. This will probably get me closer to where it's at. Yeah.
It's like, huh. So they track it down. They find the nest. They have a nice little trek to go get it. They gotta approach by foot.
Right.
And with that, they address some of the little subtle things, right? About the helmet.
Yes. I liked that scene.
I like this sequence a lot.
Yes. She's like, what do I do? And, Din kind of tells her, but then Paz Vizsla's like, no, you're in charge here. You're the lead of the war party. You get the honor. And I love they use the word honor of
Right.
staying by the fire. It's like, wow. This whole respecting each other for the position you're in, especially even if it's temporary at the time, that's a thing with these guys,
And not only that, but Bo-Katan was a character that was spoken about by these people, these very people,
Yes.
with a level of disrespect and
Right.
almost disdain,
Yes. By the armorer.
dishonor,
Right.
but here being honored.
Yes.
They're very, they say this is the way. They're very stuck in their ways.
Yeah, yes. Stuck in their ways. This.
Beholden to them, though. They're not just saying it. It's not just hot air.
Right. But this, in a lot of ways, reminds me of the Jedi and all of the procedural things they follow and things, that kind of stuff, like there's a religious aspect to this,
A dogma.
a dog. Right. Even, I mean, man, how I love doing this. Right. But I mean, there's parallels, right? You have to bathe in the living waters under Mandalorian. That's basically a baptism. You know what I'm saying? And, the not taking off your helmet and stuff, that's, there are religions where, head coverings are a thing, it's like there are different things that you can pull, and it's like, this is definitely like, a form of religion in Star Wars, and they're adhering to it, strictly. So
It's very George Lucas way of writing Star Wars.
absolutely, yeah, for sure. I love that about it, because you can actually start to see some of these parallels and put them together, as time goes on, and it's like, this is cool stuff, because it shows that they put thought behind it, not just like making stories to make stories.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite parts about this entire episode. And really this season as a whole so far. It's felt very connected. It's
Right.
telling a lot of subtle stories. Which is really all building on the main character, which is really what I kind of wanted.
Yeah, totally.
And look how well it's doing.
Yeah.
No, I really like this, and I was going somewhere with this. And it's gone.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Moral of the story: I've really enjoyed this subtle storytelling
Yes.
that's happening in the Mandalorian right now.
Right.
It doesn't all have to be flashy. It doesn't all have to be, big, momentous stuff. It can be subtle. It
Sure.
could be these little things that just shed light on their ways and why they do it, how they do it. This was a how they do it moment.
Sure.
You got all these people together and they're not allowed to show their face.
Right.
How do they go about that? Well, you get your food, you go off, you find a spot by yourself, and you can take your helmet off.
Yep.
It's like, oh.
Which we saw Din do in season 1. So it's like, okay, that makes sense then.
And we've seen Din also just like tilt his helmet up.
Yes.
Things like that. Seems risky though.
Right.
But yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. One more thing, I'm gonna kind of skip around a little bit, but because it just goes along with what we're talking about with, the you're talking the practical, and we're talking like the keep saying religion, but the religious part of it or whatever. The end where Bo-Katan is, she actually reveals that she saw a mythosaur, and the armorer says, "You're lucky, Many Mandalorians have visions of the mythosaur and blah, 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 blah." It's like, I don't think that the armorer is convinced that it was real. And now I'm starting to believe that Bo-Katan is not 100% on board with whether she saw it for real or not as well. But whether it was a vision or it was real, it was a sign, So, yeah.
Someone say last week?
Yeah, that was you, Joe. Okay. Man.
Hey, you kind of roasted me for that.
A little bit, but I mean, I still think that she's going to try and go find out, because, there's going to be that nagging her, on the inside, like, I know I saw it. I know it was real,
Well, last week I was very reluctant to agree with you that she would follow up on this.
Uh-huh.
This week I'm a little more on your side that she may.
Right.
At least go looking for it.
Right.
Because she is fighting with herself like, no, it was real.
Right.
So that gets me like, she might go looking now.
Yeah.
Because now she's wondering if she's losing her mind.
Exactly.
But I mean, the armorer's response at the end was very non-committal. Because she said, no, it was real. And she says, this is the way.
Right. I know.
So I'm kind of like, well, does the armor believe now that she actually did see it?
I think the armorer still thinks you had a vision. You're probably running out of breath underwater, whatever. And,
I just think there's some goofy juice in the water.
It could be. You never know.
I mean, it shimmered like there's goofy juice in the water.
Right. Yeah. Shimmered, turned blue, kind of. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I like where that's going as well. Because that's I also like, I have to say, and I really hesitate to use this phrase, but it fits, I guess, for our purposes, is how Bo-Katan is, quote unquote, playing along. She's, but she's being convinced, of the way at the same time. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's mutual respect where I think there wasn't very much in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Although when she was sitting at the fire by herself, I was kind of like, it kind of seems like she's almost like, wow, we're in camp, about to go on a dangerous mission. This not sharing a meal together thing really takes away from the camaraderie of the whole thing.
Right.
It kind of had that look, but at the other time, it kind of had the look where she was reflecting, like, wow, I'm getting so much respect right now.
Right.
Probably more genuine respect than she got even as ruler of Mandalore.
Yeah.
So like I was kind of torn, like, what's this emotion we're seeing here? You know, is it like, oh, this is kind of lonely? Or was it, wow, I get this honor, like I get this respect, and I'm new here.
Exactly. It's probably both, right? I mean, she's probably figuring out what to be feeling right now, you know? Because she hasn't been doing this very long with the covert, so.
And going back to the prior episode with the when they're in the mines, you know, she was very much shunting this dogma away in her youth. So this is not something she ever embraced in her entire life.
Right. Yeah. It was procedural for her. Like, yes, I have to do this stuff. I have to make my parents proud. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly.
There's even a moment of that in this episode.
Oh,
when
yeah.
she's helping Grogu fix the practice darts.
The darts, yeah. Yeah, my
dad was the same way.
Exactly.
You know, so she's still kind of like, yeah, this is just how it is.
Right.
But then you see these moments where it's almost like she's fighting back, embracing this, but it's taking hold of her.
Right. Yeah, she's actually coming to realize what this is all about, kind of. Like, it's... Yeah. It's embracing her, she's embracing it.
Right.
Little bit at a time, yeah.
More nuanced storytelling.
Yes.
It's in my opinion, like this is one of the most jam-packed episodes we've had.
Yeah, and
in this entire series.
For as short as it was, too. It was
right.
a short episode as opposed to the others this season. And yes, there's a lot to it. I you know, we haven't even got to the whole midsection yet. It's,
right.
It's
the whole reason I opened the way I opened.
Right. Exactly. So I have to agree. It's very rich for sure.
Yes. Yes. All right, so I guess we could kind of fly through the rest of this portion of the story, and then we'll go back to Grogu and the armorer.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So they end up scaling the mountain. They find the raptor's nest.
Yes.
And this is where we find out that this foundling is Paz Vizsla's son.
Right. Which, okay. That is
he immediately breaks character.
Yes. That's the one thing about all this that, you know, he was calling him the foundling when he was taken away and this, and, you know, it's like,
calm, cool, collected.
Yeah. But as soon as you think, oh, he might be right there at that he source, that's my son, you know, and it's like, whoa, okay, you know, and that just kind of like messes up the whole plan. So,
yep. Although he does think on his feet.
Yeah.
Because he does cover himself up.
Right.
So he did kind of get a little like, yeah, I screwed up. And then right back into crazy dad mode.
Exactly. It's, I don't know. It was kind of funny to me how the raptor beast there regurgitates up the kid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, ew. That's good thing you got that helmet on, kid.
Right. Well, this kid's definitely been through some stuff now.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think he'll be sucking by the water anytime soon.
No.
I'm watching it though, and I'm like, wow, this looks really good.
Right.
Like there were parts of this episode I'm like, man, this looks really bad. Like it looks like TV show, which is fine. It's
Oh, I gotcha.
disbelief, right?
Yeah, totally.
But then they get to this part and it looked really good.
Oh, this right here, you and I talked about this a long time ago, but this right here is some of the stuff we talked about where it's like all the Mandalorians flying around and you know, engaging in battle in the air and stuff. This was it in live action. This is what we were like.
This is what we tuned in to see.
Yes. Yes, this is the type of Mandalorian.
Oh, you're going to
action.
agree with me right now. Any other time I say it, I just hate Star Wars.
Well, normally you do, but this is. But this was like the stuff we saw in the Clone Wars, and this is the kind of stuff that we were discussing way back when. You know, like if we could get this in live action, my God, would it look awesome? And my God, did it look awesome?
Oh, this was fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, it was everything I signed up for.
Right.
You know, the Mandalorians and there's always those. They make the tales of, you know, taming the mythosaur, right? Like him fighting the mudhorn. Like,
right.
There's always those stories of these Mandalorians taking on these giant beasts and stuff. Like, there's nothing they can't fight.
Yeah, totally.
And this was just awesome. Yeah, Mandalorians and jetpacks and oh man. That entire sequence, I got to just straight up geek out for 10 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And just purely enjoy it.
Yes. It was good stuff.
Even on my rewatch, I'm watching it again. I'm going, wow, this is great.
Yes.
So that's going to be one you can go back and watch. Like, this is going to be one of those episodes. You know, there's episodes in every series where you cherry pick out episodes when you got like, you know, half an hour or 45 minutes to kill, right?
Right.
And you go cherry pick something out to watch. This is going to be one of those episodes that you can do that with.
That's true. Not only
I do this with the Clone Wars.
Not only because, you know, there's good action and it's, you know, all Mandalorian stuff, you know, for the most part. It's kind of like a self-contained episode, you know?
Even with it finishing on a cliffhanger, this episode felt complete.
Yes.
I mean, it was one of the most complete feeling episodes in the entire series. Like, this episode, I loved it.
I wouldn't call it a cliffhanger, but I would call it open-ended.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
not
saying?
Not a cliffhanger. Yeah, open-ended.
Yeah. But it did feel complete, and it felt like a whole story, you know, and self-contained, for sure.
You reached the end. You knew there was more, but you were satisfied with where you were at.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, obviously they rescue the kid. You know, they come back and this is another thing that I like, because there was another thing, you know, we had the episode with what's his name, when he was trying to ride the one
Oh. Trying to ride the blurg.
The blurg, the I have spoken guy.
Right, yes. I forget his name.
I forget his name right
I
now.
forget his name too. Dang it.
But he was talking to him about learning to ride the blurg.
Yeah.
And come on, you're Mandalorian, the tamer of the, great mythos. Like,
Right.
They show up back at camp and they got 3 of these young raptors.
Right.
And Bo-Katan got 3 foundlings that need care and training.
Yeah.
And they come out with those. It's like, wow, they're going to ride those.
They're going to ride those. Absolutely. That is exactly right. They will be riding those suckers. And
Like, that is freaking cool.
They will be theirs. Yes.
Like, that is freaking cool. And I mean, there's just the Mandalorian aesthetic, right? Like, you could see them on the back of one of those and be like, yeah, that fits.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, okay. It's been like that since day one. Just throwing this out there because our first introduction to Boba Fett in a cartoon, he's riding like a brontosaurus looking creature. Yeah. So, yes, it's like that is what we're used to with Mandalorians, for sure.
There's our first holiday special reference of the year.
Yep. Yes, it is. A little early for it, I know, but I mean, it fits, it's Mandalorian stuff.
Right. And I mean, even in the book of Boba Fett, right? We see Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Yep.
Like, it just fits. It looks right.
Yep, absolutely.
The aesthetic just looks appropriate.
Yeah.
So you can see why George made that decision.
Absolutely.
And who knew that sequence in the holiday special was going to spawn this stuff?
Oh, my God.
So, I think we've wrapped that portion up.
Yeah.
While this mission was taking place, the armorer decides she needs a chat with Grogu.
Right.
And makes him a new piece of armor and all that good stuff. You're going to grow into it. I saw it. It was like, I don't know if he's really going to grow into that.
Exactly. Yeah. Does she realize how tall the species gets? Because it's not much taller. It's
about 4 more inches.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, maybe a little more than that. 6 more inches.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah. In either case, while she's crafting this armor, this forge, I mean, she's talking about it and she basically alludes to the fact that, like, it exposes weakness. It does this. So there might be some sort of property to this forge that kind of brings out the flashback.
It could be. It happened with Din.
Yeah, and if that's the case, and like for those who, as they say, walk the way, right? Like,
right,
walk the way of the Mandalore. If that is the effect on this, then I think Grogu actually made the right choice in what he did.
Yeah, choosing the armor over the lightsaber.
Yeah. Like this is his destiny, if you will.
Right.
Because, I mean, this is having that same effect on him. This is his path.
Yeah, exactly. Although he's being reminded of where he came from.
Right, but so was Din.
True. Good point. Wow.
So, yeah, in the process of her making this armor, he has a vision of the 501st attack on the Jedi Temple.
Right.
Order 66.
Yep.
And his escape from the temple.
Yeah.
We've seen this alluded to already.
Yes.
I think we've seen a portion of this flashback already, right?
Yes, we have, but it was a really quick scene. It was really vague.
Right.
Whereas this one got way more detailed.
Yeah, way more detailed. Really reminded me of the opening sequences in Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the same kind of deal.
Gotcha.
And it showed up again somewhere else, right? Kenobi.
Oh, right. Yes.
So same vibe, same situation.
Yes. Yeah.
So anywho, in the course of events here, Grogu's rushed to safety by Keller and Beck.
Yes. Keller and Beck.
Is it Jedi Master? Yes, Jedi Master.
Right.
Keller and Beck. Who happens to be Ahmed Best.
Right. I got to be honest, I didn't recognize the name when they said it going into the elevator.
I did not either, and in fact it was during our pre-show prep when you mentioned like it's his character from Jedi Temple Challenge.
Right.
I'm like, really?
Yeah. So when the doors open, it was like, hey, it's on the best. You know.
That's the first thing I did. Like it opened up, I was like, hey, look.
So
he's back.
That was one of the first things I had to do was look at, okay. Does, you know, did they give him a Star Wars character name for that show? And yes, they did. And yes, it's the same. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like, okay, yep, they did that. So, and it kind of falls in line with what that show is supposed to be about, right? You know, Padawans in training, and you know that's kind of like his charge for, you know, when he was at the Jedi Temple and stuff. You know, you look into the background of the character, so it all kind of fits.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, they're really committed to this canon thing.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
Really committed. Which is cool. Yeah, you get a chase scene here.
Right.
There's not a whole lot here other than, you're getting Grogu's experience along with a kind of trip down memory lane.
Right.
Because when they're escaping, you get him saying, we're meeting with some friends.
Right.
And then they show up and they're Naboo guard.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like appropriate.
Yes. And it's
another one of those scenes in Star Wars where they're really, just a character that plays multiple roles, where they're paying their respects at the same time. Like,
yes,
they're respecting the people who've helped bring this story over the years,
Exactly.
And this was a nice tip of the hat for Ahmed Best.
I dug that. It was cool. I mean, for all the crap you got for playing Jar Jar and all that and everything, this was a nice upfront action role that, put him out there and did an awesome job. Loved it. It was cool. And I got a feeling we're going to get to see more later on down the line, because I almost get the feeling we're going to see Grogu remember his whole backstory up until he was captured and taken, Yeah,
all the way up until he ended up in the care of Dr. Pershing.
Right.
Which, after seeing this, I'm like, how the hell did he get with Pershing?
Yeah, not sure. I think there's more of this story to come.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. We just got to wait for his next piece of armor.
Yeah, well, that's, You're going to be telling these stories in parallel. I think it's gonna be cool.
No, it's gonna be fun. Like I really hope they kind of do it that way.
Yep.
Because it's gonna be like as Grogu grows and evolves, it gets his next reward. So do we.
Exactly.
You know, that'd be kind of cool. You know, and it'll still. It's gonna leave a lot of mystery to another of that species.
What do you mean?
Like Yoda.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell do we really know about Yoda?
Oh, we know nothing about Yoda. That's part of the beauty of Yoda.
Right.
I mean, we just know that he's old and wise.
Yep. Anything else stand out in this?
No, I mean, I think we covered basically the gist of it. It's just another little piece, of Order 66, and I think we're going to get beyond Order 66 now. He's going to start remembering things coming to him. I also believe when it comes to Grogu, when Din says, he can't speak the creed, I got a feeling it's coming eventually here. We're going to get some words from Grogu. And it might not be this season, but I think it's not too far off.
I do have another comment on the species.
Yeah.
I think I know why there's so few of them.
Okay.
Because he's 50 years old and he's still relatively helpless.
Right. Yeah. And if you don't have the Force in that species, be able to just Force grab some Skittles or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, survival would be hard.
Right.
I mean, I understand 50 years for this species is a blink of the eye, right? Like,
yeah,
because they live so long, but at the same time, you're 50 years of vulnerable.
Yeah, it's a long time for others to take you out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that right here. It's like, man, he looks the exact same during Order 66.
What's funny though is in Star Wars we've only ever met 3 from this species, and
right.
They were all Force sensitive. So who knows? Maybe this species is always Force sensitive. We don't know.
Yeah. We're gonna find out this species is like some sort of manifestation of the wills, and
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never know. Yeah, that we're just way speculating now, but
yeah, we'll never find out what species this is.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be.
They'll never touch it, and they shouldn't.
Right.
Shouldn't. So, well, been a while since we got to have a talk like this.
Right.
If you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsofmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, @thewarsofmore on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsofmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsofmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think we've covered it.
All right. We'll talk next week.